There is something out there waiting for us, and it ain't no man. We're all gonna die. Hello, folks. Welcome back to Fearox Frank Reviews. Your host, Fearox Frank here, and it is time to do a big one. Oh, yeah. Yesterday I talked about Alien, which is the haunted house in space, which was technically also a slasher film that made such a massive franchise and a huge crossover franchise with this particular franchise. Ladies and gentlemen, Predator. Predator. Oh, what can be said about this film? A lot, actually, just a lot. Although I'm a little bit off my game at the moment because of the fact that, well, it's Thursday night right now, so this is going to be released on Friday morning. But a friend of mine is actually giving birth at the moment, so I wish her the very best. So, Angie, if you actually watch my show and if you're watching this episode, I hope you're doing well, and I hope the little bundle of joy you give life to was worth it. Who am I kidding? It's definitely going to be worth it. You're going to be a great mom. So, mwah, love you. So now I got that out of the way. Let's talk about Predator. What can I say about this movie? A lot. But I'm going to try and condense it down as best as I can. This movie was actually originally written and played. It has a really interesting history because apparently it was actually written. It was actually made as a short story called Hunter, which made it into Playboy. But many sci-fi readers who actually read Playboy. And okay, to be fair, if you actually read Playboy back in the day, there was a ton of good shit in there too. Like it had advertisements for good movies, good stuff to buy, not just a bunch of nude modeling. No, sorry. There was a ton of stuff in there that was worth a lot of money, and it was well worth it too. And also good stuff, and of course, good fictionalized science fiction, horror, and mystery stories in there. Mostly short stories, but Hunter got some people's attention, so so the screenwriters of this movie actually turned it into a film. And once you know it got greenlit. And there was problems during production, of course, which is no surprising. Most had something to do with the Predator costume itself. The original costume looked like shit. But that's besides the point until they got somebody else to do it. Who did they get to do the Predator costume? Let's just say Arnold Schwarzenegger recommended somebody. So, what's the premise of the movie? The premise is that a special forces team actually goes to a Central American country to rescue some hostages from enemy guerrilla forces, and they encounter a unique hunter with specialized weapons, and it hunts them all down one by one. So yeah, they're outclassed by an advanced killing machine, and in this movie, Arnold may not be back. Who the hell am I kidding? It's all Schwarzenegger. Of course he's going to be back. So, with that being said, let's get started. The movie begins in space where we see the title sequence after Arnold Schwarzenegger's name pops up. We see Predator pop up, and then we see a spaceship fly by the Earth and shoot something on the Earth itself, entering the atmosphere. Okay? And then we get the introduction to Arnold's Special Forces team in the Central American country of Valverde. The same Valverde that was used in Commando, which Schwarzenegger starred in previously with the star Bill Duke, who's actually in this movie too as Mac. And there's also the country that the evil general was in that was actually being like escorted from in Die Hard 2. And supposedly John McTiernan said all those films are in the same universe. Yeah, I'm going to say no, that's not possible. But the Die Hard thing, the Die Hard thing makes sense because it's in Central America. But the problem is Valverde. It sounded like it was somewhere, maybe in Cambodia, was maybe somewhere in southern South America. I don't know. It's weird. Whatever. Anyway, we are introduced to Arnold Schwarzenegger's team, which is, which of course is Big Man Bane, played by Jesse Ventura, Billy the Tracker, I'm not gonna say his last. I'm not gonna say his full name because I kind of forgot it already. Poncho, Poncho Hawkins, played by Shane Black, who also directed the fourth film. And trust me, he dies in this movie, so yeah, you're gonna like this a lot. Also directed Iron Man 3, and that film sucked too. Okay, Shane Black should stop making movies like that. Also, Bill Duke is actually playing Mac, and we get Arnold Schwarzenegger's character himself, Dutch. Although that's his code name, his real name is Alan Schaefer, Major Alan Schaefer, and not once did they say that in the entire movie. No, they go by his code name, Dutch, but his full name. But however, his full title name is Major Alan Dutch Schaefer. Um, would have killed him to say his name one time, or have a profile with his name on it. Seriously, he goes to meet the general. Goes to meet the general that's conducting the operations down there in Valverde. However, they say it's going to be a rescue operation for a cabinet minister and his aide. But Dutch is very suspicious about the whole thing, and so somebody yells at him, "Because some damn fool accused you of being the best." And who is it? It's Apollo Creed himself. Another than Carl Weathers playing Dylan. And of course, we get that ultimate macho thing with Arnold and Carl going, doing the whole throw fist pump thing, like you son of a bitch. And then we get the whole arm wrestling thing. I'm sure you've seen that a bunch of times. People just they always try to, always copy this thing. Comic Cons, gyms, people just having fun. Actually, the last time I actually saw this was actually was Suicide Girl Vivica actually doing this to TJ Storm. I go, you're doing the Predator fist pump thing with the guy who plays Godzilla. Great work, girl. Great work. But I don't think she realized that TJ Storm plays Godzilla currently in the MonsterVerse. But whatever. So yeah, they just reminisce and they have a good laugh out of it though. Anyway, Dutch actually makes it clear that his special forces team, which is a bunch of military commandos, they are actually experts in rescues, not assassins. So anyway, Dutch wants to know what's happening. Carl Weathers Dylan tells him everything, but he tells them that they had to go back, that they have to be that they're going to go into the border, get the hostages, and bounce back bounce back out of the border before they know we were even there. And Dutch is a little suspicious why he said we, because it turns out that Dylan's going with them. I think maybe this would have worked out better if Dylan said. Now keep this in mind, Dylan works for the CIA. And of course, this is going to be obviously a setup. But, yeah, I'll get to that later. So we actually see them all take off in the helicopter, and we get to hear Little Richard's All Sweet Sally, which is the one thing that's always in this whole franchise. It's either going to be the Predator theme song or this Little Richard song. I mean, seriously, when I first saw this, when I heard the song again in Mafia 2, just on the radio, it's like it popped up in Predator for some reason. That would be kind of interesting that there was actually a DLC that actually had a Predator storyline in it. So that would have been interesting. But hey, that's Mafia 2. Anyway, this is where we get to see the guys as being all themselves and stuff. Like Billy's just being the stoic, silent guy. um, Mac is basically shaving, which Bill Duke actually improvised the whole thing. He actually brought a razor on set and he shaved, and he's like, maybe I should actually use this out for my character that he just shaves, which is pretty damn funny. And of course, the Poncho just being kind of like being an ass to Hawkins at some point. Hawkins tells Billy a terrible pussy joke. Yeah, yeah, just a terrible pussy joke, which at Billy and doesn't get a reaction out of him. And of course, Arnold and Dylan, I mean Dutch and Dylan actually will reminisce a bit more. And of course, Blaine is actually chewing on tobacco. He's like, "Hey, you want some?" So, hey, Poncho, want some? Get that stinking shit out of my face. So, Billy, want some? No. Man, you guys are a bunch of slack-joined fools around here. This show making a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me. And Poncho, holding the grenade launcher, points to the head Blaine's like, well, stick this on your sore ass, Blaine. And you hear Billy get a huge laugh out of that one. Okay, to be fair, that was actually kind of a funnier line because the pussy joke was terrible, but that joke, but strapping a grenade launcher on Blaine's ass sounds more funnier. And I can actually see that happening too, which is pretty hilarious. So anyway, they get dropped off and they go on the hunt. And they come across the chopper that, well, the cabinet minister was at. And it turns out it's not, well, of course, Poncho and Dylan investigated. The pilots are both dead. He's got around the head, and the stuff is all has been stripped down. But it doesn't look like it doesn't look like an army taxi. It looks more like a surveillance bird, the Poncho. And Billy gets on the trail of tracking the guerrilla forces who took the hostages. And something that caught his attention was there were 6 men wearing U.S. Army gear. So he's that good of a tracker. So he tracks it. So he continues tracking, and then he comes across a terrifying sight: 3 skinned bodies. And who are they? Well, here's the thing. Mac discovers one of the dog tags, tosses it at Dutch. He says, Jim Hopper. And Jim Hopper, he actually knows Jim Hopper because he was a Green Beret from Fort Bragg. He actually helped train him years ago. All right. And keep this in mind, Dutch is actually supposed to be a special force. Is technically a Delta Force commando, much like the John Matrix character in the movie Commando. So yeah, these guys are that good at what they're doing. And Dylan is a CIA operative. Okay, figures. But he knew that these men were Green Beret soldiers, and he wondered what the hell was going on. And of course, Dylan doesn't even know what the hell's going on either. But of course, Dutch is skeptical. But here's the thing: there was only 3 bodies, and yet Hopper's men was a group of 6. So what happened to the rest of them? They just disappeared. Oh. Actually, spoiler alert, they're actually in the trees somewhere in the background. There's nobody could have seen them because they were so fucking high up. Yeah. And so, that being said, who did this? It's the very thing that's actually keeping an eye on them right now in infrared. Who is it? The fucking Predator. That's right. The Predator did this. Now, to be fair, Dutch's team thought it was the guerrilla forces that did it, so they go after the guerrilla forces. They actually find the secret base. All this time, the Predator is stalking them and he's watching them in infrared mode. So, Dutch and his team find the guerrilla camp, and he watches one. He goes out. Dutch goes down for a closer look. He sees how everything's all. It's like, okay. What the? He finds one of the hostages, and he gets shot in the head. And who was the guy who shot him in the head? Arnold's lifting buddy, of course. Who was in a lot of fucking movies with Arnold. I mean, seriously, he's in a lot of movies with Arnold from the 80s. I mean, seriously, he's in a lot of movies. I mean, I keep forgetting the guy's name, but if you know what he looks like, you're like, oh, hey, that's Arnold's lifting buddy. Yeah. And here's the thing. They're supposed to be in Valverde, where most of this population is supposed to be speaking Spanish. The Valverde guerrillas, and and his lifting buddy is playing a Russian military advisor. Something's not right there. So he gives his boys the command. They're gonna strike down. They're gonna take out the whole camp and look for the other hostage. And they do it Call of Duty style, or SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs, or pretty much like that, 80s style. But they take out some guards first. Dutch actually plants a bomb in a truck. A satchel bomb, and then he just lifts the truck up and pushes it down the hill, and it actually explodes right in front of the canteen area. And then we get the explosive shootout sequence of the Palazzo. That's what they call it, but hey, it's the guerrilla camp. That's what I'm going to call it. So yeah, they gun down all the guerrilla forces, and we get some pretty cool action sequences in this whole thing. Yeah, they pretty much mow them all down. Yeah, Dutch's team mows everybody, mows all the bad guys down, and we get a couple of good one-liners too. Like, like, uh, like some gorilla's got to sneak up on like Dutch's character on Dutch. He throws his knife right at the guy. He sticks to the wall. And he goes, "Stick around." He kicks to open the door and he goes, "Knock, knock," and shoots the two military advisors. Oh, and a gorilla sneaks up behind him. He knocks that person out, and it's the female character in the movie. Yeah, we got the female lead in the movie. I can't say the actress's name because it's a Mexican name, and I can't pronounce it right. Unfortunately, however, we later find out her name is Anna. So Anna gets knocked out by Dutch, but he doesn't want to kill her because, well, he's not a murderer. Anyway, he actually calls Mac to come over, and Mac tells him that he found the other hostage, and he's dead too. And it turns out both hostages and the equipment was all CIA property. Yeah, they were trying to look for this place for months. So, yeah. So Dylan clearly lied. And there were some other bodies they also discovered too, which were all Russian military advisors. So clearly something was happening here that was definitely in the CIA's best interest. And of course, Dylan lied about the whole thing, which of course pisses Dutch off. All right, and he tells Matt to get ready to move out. Tells the crew to get ready to move out. While Poncho and Blaine take care of two other the remaining gorillas with their weapons. With Poncho having the grenade launcher and Blaine having a freaking hand-mounted minigun called Old Painless. Seriously, joking aside, when they actually brought this thing out to actually use on set, everybody who had the photography cameras went like this. That was what Jesse Ventura actually said when he brought the damn thing out, and when it worked, and when we showed them how it worked, they all did the same thing. Really? What's even more crazy is they used that same minigun in Terminator 2. Okay. By the way, the minigun's, like I said, the old minigun's called Old Painless. And, well, unfortunately, Blaine can actually hit the damn thing. Actually can't hit them. It goes, like, son of a bitch is digging like an Alabama tick. Shit! Blaine, you're hit. You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed. Oh, okay. Boom, boom, boom with the grenade launcher. So do you have time to talk? Oh, boom, oh shit. Fuck you, Poncho. Fuck you. It's just, I love these 80 nods. Anyway, Dylan comes walking into the room and he gets into a heated argument with Dutch. I mean, seriously, Dutch is. I mean, he's on the floor gathering up all the papers that. Dutch just grabs him by the collar and throws him, and literally throws him up against the wall and yells at him, saying that he used them. So yeah, Dylan tells him that this whole thing was a huge military operation that the CIA was trying to work on for a long, long time. But he made it. But Dutch tells him that he makes it clear that my men are not expendable, and I don't do this type of fucking work. So he leaves, and of course, Dylan actually cuffs Anna because she might actually know some more information. But Dutch tells her to leave her. She'll give away our position any chance she'll get. So no deal. But he comes to the conclusion like, she's your package. She's your baggage. You fall behind, you're on your own. All right, and the predator just happens to be watching them from afar. They all decide to clear off from a valley because they can't actually get a chopper in this area because there's more gorillas close by. So they up and leave everything. We get a little sequence with Mac actually talking to Dylan. It's like, come here, over here, come here, turn around. Why the hell should I turn around? What is that? What the hell is that over there? Takes out a knife and tries to stab Bill in the back. Dylan points his gun at him, but we later see that the tip of the knife is holding a scorpion. Oh, thanks. Anytime. Here we go, just kill it. And we get one more pushy joke that actually managed to make Billy laugh. And here's the thing. I've heard about this rumor for a long time, and it wasn't until I saw this movie again until today, the rumor was fully confirmed. I can confirm the rumor. But after Billy's done laughing after the one funny the pussy joke in the movie, yeah, the only funny pussy joke in the movie, go figure. If you turn the volume on your TV or have some headphones on, you crank the volume up and try just to ignore the music that's playing, you can actually hear a distorted laughter in the background, which makes Billy stop and look up into the trees. And that was actually the predator trying to copy his laughter. All right? That was something I didn't even notice, and a lot of people didn't notice this at first, but until the Blu-ray came out, actually, when you could turn down the volume and have the surround sound on, you can actually hear the laughter in the background. But it's like they tried to hide that. So why? I mean, even the original VHS copies actually had the laughter in the background, but nobody noticed it. Anyway, the predator comes down after they all leave. The predator comes down and assesses the whole situation and decides to hunt them now. And you know what's even more crazy? Like I've already reviewed Predator 2, and the Predator actually took on a bunch of Colombian drug lords and the Jamaican voodoo posse. And he took on the drug lords in their home bay in a warehouse, and they were all armed to the teeth. This makes me question this. Was the Predator actually planning to attack the guerrilla camp? I think he actually was planning to attack the guerrilla camp. He was that close by to it. I mean, think about it. They were all armed to the teeth. There was Russian military personnel there. He was going to attack the camp. But no, Dutch's team actually beat him there. And so he decides to go after them. At some point, they actually do wander more and more into the jungle, where, of course, Billy still senses something. And, of course, it gets everybody freaked out. So there are a couple of times that Anna tries to get away, but the second time she actually does get away, she hits Ponzo with a small branch she finds on the ground, and he wasn't looking. But it's because of that. But that actually happened because Billy was distracted because the predator was up in the trees at some point. You can make an argument saying you could probably see the predator in the background because it has its camouflage on. But again, this is the first time we're seeing this shit, so it's unknown to us. I mean, if you could see it there, maybe it is there. Just clearly hid it away for us not to see it. All right, Dutch gets a little concerned by it though, but then Billy comes to the conclusion it's probably nothing, which turns out it wasn't. Anna hits Ponzo with a branch to the side of his head. She runs away. Hawkins goes after him, and the predator goes after both of them. Now Hawkins does eventually catch up to her, but out of nowhere, Anna notices the predator is right next to him. And it's in full camouflage mode, and it kills Hawkins right there on the spot and drags his body away. Well, Pancho eventually catches up to him, and he sees Anna is covered in blood, and she's petrified of what just happened. And he sees the trail of blood going into the jungle, so he follows it, and he sees nothing but guts on the ground. Now, the rest of the team catches up, and they try to question Anna what happened, and she's petrified with fear at that point after seeing what just happened. And so Pancho tells Mac he found something, and he's not too sure if it's Hawkins, which really gives Dutch some concern. So he goes out there and takes a look at it, and they're not too sure if it is him because it's nothing but blood and guts. So it could be Hawkins. So he tells Pancho to ask her what happened. They talk in Spanish, and she said that the jungle came alive and took him. And of course, Dylan understands what she's saying, but he and Pancho have a huge argument, though. But as they're arguing, Dutch noticed something. Poncho's equipment Hawkins' equipment is still there. His weapon is still on the ground. The radio's still there. He's just utterly confused. He asked him what the hell's going on. And then Dylan came up with a conclusion with a horrified expression going, Hopper. Jesus Christ, I did the exact same thing to Jim Hopper's men. Which also concerns Dutch and the men. So he tells all of his men to actually go looking for Hawkins. They try looking, and they can't find him. Dutch comes across a boa constrictor, and he ignores it. But what he doesn't realize is that right next to him was actually blood dripping down one of the branches. And he didn't even notice it, and he walks away. And the camera pans all the way up, nearly 50 feet in the air, up the tree, and we see Hawkins' dead, naked body just hanging right there, upside down, naked, all tied up in shit. Hey, Dutch, isn't it? Hey, wait. Major Dutch. What? Look up. What do you mean? Okay, I'm looking at. Oh my god! I mean, that's simple. Anyway, Blade actually comes across something, but then comes across what he thinks is an enemy soldier. It's not. It's actually just some little animal. And yeah, he's flexing his muscles and everything. Oh yeah, okay. I gotta discuss. I gotta talk about this real quick. There was like a there was a massive practical joke that Arnold Schwarzenegger played on Jesse Ventura, and the joke was that oh, they actually tried to, he was trying to measure, was like an arm measuring contest between him and Jesse Ventura. However, Arnold tricked him because Arnold was wearing smaller clothing at the time and just tricking him in the process. So when it came to the day of actually, flexing their muscles, see who had the bigger muscle, Arnold Schwarzenegger actually had the bigger muscles and he tricked Ventura. Oh, never ever mess with a bodybuilder, my man. Uh, I also have to mention this movie came out the same year as Running Man came out, but Running Man came out first. So, okay. There's that. And Jesse Ventura also starred with Schwarzenegger in the movie, too. Actually, something else I just noticed until this point, but the guy who played Parker in Alien was also in Running Man. Yeah, he was Arnold's best friend who got killed by Buzzsaw. Shit. And the actress who was actually the main love interest for Schwarzenegger in The Running Man, would later play Leona, the lead actress in Predator 2. My God, there's a massive connection. And is it any more obvious that Bill Duke is that? I mean, no, I'm sorry. That Bill Paxton is in Predator 2, Aliens, and the Terminator, and he gets killed by all three. God damn it, we fucking love you, Bill Paxton. God rest that soul. God rest that man's soul. That means I gotta do. That means I gotta do those movies again. Wait, oh wait a second. I did Predator 2 and I did Terminator, so I gotta do Aliens next time around. Oh well. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, Blade just smirks off the animal, and then some blood gets thrown at him, and then the plasma caster shoots him in the back and blowing out his chest, killing him instantly. Matt comes running over to him and he sees the Predator in full camouflage mode and he freaks out, yells out contact, starts shooting at him with his M60. He runs out of ammo. He throws it down, grabs Old Painless, and starts pumping rounds into the fucking jungle. Everybody comes in and they literally blow a few hundred rounds of ammunition into the jungle. And the end result, they hit nothing. Okay, that's not exactly true. When Mac first saw the Predator, he actually did shoot at it, though, but as it was running away in camouflage mode, we see one of the leaves it passed, there's actually green liquid on it, so, which of course we realize is Predator's blood. So he did actually hit it. They just didn't know what the color of the blood was. Anna actually sees the blood and actually gets it on her pants, though. So they decide to actually dig in and settle for the night. But Dylan tries to call in for the CIA for backup, trying to get them the fuck out of there because they're not probably going to survive. But of course, they're being assholes about the whole thing, and he's pissed off about it. So Mac is actually more and more is starting to lose it a bit more, and of course, Billy is freaking out. And Dutch is trying his best to keep his cool, but he's also freaking out too. But he's trying his best to keep his game face on and keep his cool. And then we see the Predator again. But this time around, what's he doing? He's fixing his thing. Yeah. We see the Predator uncloak and, well, fix his knee with the first aid kit and everything. First time we're actually seeing it uncloaked. We don't get a good look at his head. We just see parts of his leg and his hands until we get an exit shot of his head where he has his mask on. You know what? I got a hand to the actor who actually gave us the Predator crackle and all those grunts and all those vocalization sounds. And who was it who did the Predator crackling and stuff? Who came up with all this? the man who was known as the voice of Optimus Prime. That's right, folks. Peter Cullen came up with this thing, and it is the most funniest story how it happened too. Go on his go on one of his interviews and explains everything. He actually just got finished doing the King Kong grunt sound effects for King Kong Lives, and he was shown Predator, and he was one of the only few people outside in post production that actually got a chance to see what the Predator actually looked like. And of course, it was an ugly motherfucker. And he was suffering from blood throat at the time. What does that mean? It means he did a lot of voice work, and his throat was killing him at the time. So he came up with the vocalization on the spot with the Predator crackle, which was yeah, he did that in a low frequency, and though the sound director was like, "What the hell are you doing, man? What is it? Sir, can you come in here and take a look at this? I'll be there in a second. You just wait right here." Well, 2 minutes later, Peter Cullen, would you like to come with me, please? Oh god, it's just really hilarious. He came up with because he was suffering from blood throat and he was frustrated. But why did he come up with that crackle? It's due to the fact that it made him think about this crab he saw dying on the beach. And made this crackling sound effect, and that's what made him think like, this would probably work on the creature, and it did. All the creature sound effects were all done by Peter Cullen. God fucking bless that man. However, there's a bit of a problem too. The Predator's design, like I said earlier, was changed because the original design was, believe it or not, it was like a cross between an insect and a reptile. It did not look good. And one who played the creature originally, the muscles from Russell's himself, Jean-Claude Van Damme. And no, I'm not joking. Stop the video right now and look it up. Van Damme originally played the original Predator. It's crazy. You'll see even production photos of him on set in the jungle with Carl Weathers and the others in full costume sometimes. It's crazy to see that. The crazy thing is, the movie was only 60 to 70% done at the time, but the director decided to pause the movie for the time being because the costume looked terrible, and they fired Van Damme because he was complaining too much that the suit was too hot to work in. Because he was in the fucking jungle and he was using his martial art techniques against Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, joking aside, that actually does sound kind of cool, but not for this film series. Maybe if he did another Alien film series, I don't know. So they decided to take a few months off, and they came back a few months later to actually finish the film off. And who'd they get? Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger, on his behalf, he said, "Get Stan Winston." Because he had worked with Stan Winston on the Terminator. So yeah, they got Stan Winston, who had just finished Aliens at that time too. What a coincidence! And he was actually on the plane trying to doing some doodle drawings, and he was sharing a scene with James Cameron amongst all things. And James Cameron, who just directed Aliens, I don't think I've ever seen an alien with mandibles before. Mandibles. And it's because of James Cameron. We have the iconic mandibles, dreads, and everything. And who played the Predator? The the beloved, scary Yautja warrior, Kevin Peter Hall, who also played Harry from Harry and the Hendersons, which is another film I gotta get to someday because it's a beloved family film. So yeah, they had to go back to do reshoots and everything, and they had to do more sequences and they had to redo certain sequences with Kevin Peter Hall to replace some of the footage they had with Van Damme. All right, that works. But here's a bit of a fun fact: other than everything that met Kevin Peter Hall, he was always in full costume, but he kept the actual mask on, but not the Predator face, but the Predator mask on. Huh. And he was in full costume probably for maybe 12 to 16 hours a day in the hot Mexican weather. God damn. Also, another fun fact too. My mom and dad actually had their anniversary in the exact location where they shot the film. Go figure. And actually, Arnold during the break actually got married to Maria Shriver at that time too. What were the odds of that happening? I couldn't even fucking tell you, seriously. But anyway, nightfall comes around. Anyway, like I said, going back to the story, nightfall comes around and Mac is on first watch, and we set up tripwires and traps and everything. And something does go in. He actually attacks it and he kills it. What was it? Wasn't the predator? It was a wild pig. And of course, Poncho makes fun of him for it. And they're like, "Wait a minute, where's the girl?" So they go to check on Anna. She didn't leave or anything because she's petrified because because the predator is still out there. But they notice that Blaine's body is gone. So the predator snuck in through the trip wires, and he grabbed the body right underneath their noses. Fuck, this guy is smart. So the next morning, Schwarzenegger figures out that this thing is killing them off one at a time, and Billy procrastinating like, "You mean like a hunter?" "Yeah, like a hunter." He looks up in the trees and goes, "And he's using the trees." So he confronts Anna about what she really saw. She starts talking. She finally starts talking in English, amongst all things, and he uncuffs her, and he says that she's going to help them because this thing is hunting all of them. So Dutch convinces Anna and Dylan that they're not going to the chopper. They're actually going to try to hunt and kill this thing. Anna tells them about the blood, and we get the other iconic line: "If it bleeds, we can kill it." And so they set up a massive trap for the creature, for this hunter. And they wait. Afterwards, they wait for it and wait. Anna explains like what happened to her when she was a kid, that this has happened before, and they actually call the creature the demon who makes trophies of man. Okay, that's nice. That was a nice little segment. That was pretty damn creepy. Anyway, Dutch just says the hell with this shit. And, well, doesn't say it. He just gets up and actually stands out there with his gun ready, trying to attract the predator. Nothing happens. He turns around. The predator actually sets the trap off, and he gets stuck in a net. And he starts shooting his plasma caster off, which actually hits a branch, hitting a Poncho, breaking his ribs. So the predator escapes. Matt goes batshit crazy trying to shoot it. Dylan partially sees it, and it goes off into one area while Matt goes after it. Uh, uh, Dutch was about to go after Mac, but Dylan tells him that he's going to go after Mac, and he tells his people to get everybody out of here. But so now, Poncho's all banged up. Billy, Dutch, and Anna try to help Poncho, and they get the hell out of the area. While but meanwhile, Dylan catches up with Mac, and they actually see the predator camouflaged in the trees. So they try to set up a trap, but the predator catches up to them and actually kills Mac by shooting him in the head. And then we get the horrifying sequence of Dylan trying to hunt down the predator with of course his MP5 machine gun. Yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, not going to work. Not going to work. Predator shoots his arm off, actually shooting at him with the machine gun, and it starts running around. Starts running around him. He gets the other gun with his left arm, starts to shoot at it, but the predator gets its claws out and kills him right there on the spot, having Dylan scream his lungs out in pain that he's dead. And they're crossing a tree bridge at that point, where, of course, Billy's had enough. Poncho being dragged by Dutch, and Anna's ahead of them. What does Billy do? He's done with this shit. He throws the radio and his gun into the river and stays there as a last stand to hold off the predator. But it's a real tense moment, and it's a pretty lame payoff too. All joking aside. So Dutch and Anna, while dragging Poncho, try to get as far away as they can. And the last thing we see is a predator's vision in front of Billy, and Billy gets killed off screen. That really sucks. And just no more than 5 seconds later, the predator catches up to them and shoots Poncho in the head. Okay, I feel sorry for Poncho, but how the fuck did you get there that fast? Whatever. Anyway, Anna picks up Poncho's gun about to shoot at the predator, but But Dutch kicks the girl, literally kicks the sub gun out of her hand and starts shooting at the Predator, trying to get his attention. The Predator shoots at him, but aims at his gun, destroying it. And then we get the other iconic line, "Go! Get to the chopper!" Which, of course, she runs away and gets the chopper, while Dutch goes in the opposite direction, and the Predator follows him. Fun fact, there's actually a deleted sequence where the Predator was actually toying with him at some point by shooting him, going in some other directions. But and you hear Dutch yelling out, "Bastards toying with me." But it turns out it's actually old footage from from the original Van Damme film. So, okay. So that was immediately scrapped. Anyway, Arnold is so Dutch is running up to the point where the Predator is literally right behind him because of the heat vision. We can see him, but he starts sliding down, goes right down into a river, and then goes right out down the waterfall. He swims up to the shoreline where he collapses in the mud from exhaustion, but the Predator dies right behind him, so he gets out of the water, covered in mud, and goes right up a tree line, and we see the Predator. Finally, we see the Predator in its full costume, decloaked. And goddamn, Stan Winston did one hell of a job with that costume. And Kevin Peter Hall did such a great job with the motion movements and everything. And Peter Cullen did a fantastic job creating the voice and the vocals for the Predator. This is the GOAT. My God. Anyway, we see a good shot of Arnold, and the Predator is right there in front of him, and the Predator actually looks towards him as he decloaks to finally because the water messes up the cloaking device for some reason, which for some reason they forgot about in the movie Prey. Go figure. But again, that was a different tribe, so that Predator was in a different tribe. So what the hell's the point? So yeah, the Predator looks straight at Arnold and just keeps looking around because he can't see him because he's covered in mud. Ugh. So the Predator gets frustrated and just he shoots at something he thought it was Dutch, but no, it was just a little rat. It was a big ass rat. So it just calms down and just walks off. And and Dutch goes, "You couldn't see me." And Dutch actually analyzes the area and decides he's gonna hunt this motherfucker down and set up a giant trap for him. And that's what he does. He starts preparing the whole area for the final battle. And the Predator, what is it doing? Well, what we see next is Billy's body actually be tossed onto the branch and his spinal column with his skull getting ripped out. All practical effects, mind you. And he kicks the body off screen. So yeah, so Dutch actually makes a bunch of like homemade weapons and improv weapons such as bow and arrows, spears, and sets up a couple of traps for the Predator. And the Predator just admires his skull collection of Dutch's entire team. Sick bastard. And so it's nightfall, midnight, and the traps are all set. Arnold lights up a torch and gives us the epic battle cry of the whole movie. Oh! Which, of course, gets the Predator's attention. So he tosses the torch inside of a giant fire pit, and he goes up a tree and hides right in plain sight. But he's all fully covered in mud, so the Predator won't be able to see him. How do I know this? Because the Predator literally comes actually crawling down the tree right behind him, no less than a foot away from him. Where we see Dutch going, and it's right there, right next to him, and he doesn't even see him. Yeah. So he swings to another tree and holds his ground and makes sure the Predator doesn't see him. So yeah, it doesn't see him at all. So Dutch gets one of his explosive arrows, shoots it at the Predator's at the tree branch where the Predator is on, and the explosion goes off. They coast the Predator, and the Predator gets pissed off and starts shooting away. So it's remember how they just shot how his team shoots up the whole forest. Now the Predator's doing the exact same thing what his team went through. Yeah. So now the roles are now fully reversed. The Predator is being hunted by Arnold. Who's the hunter now, motherfucker? Yeah, eventually Arnold just runs away, actually continues to run away and hide, while the Predator actually fully decloaks itself because, well, it's fully destroyed. Yeah, because the mechanism is completely destroyed at this point. And now we just get nothing more but a full cat and mouse game between Dutch and the Predator. Oh, it's so intenseful. In fact, there's actually a good shot where Dutch is actually on a log. It's trying to cross a log bridge, but the Predator jumps down right in front of him, but looking in another direction. And no less than 2 seconds, Dutch goes underneath it so fast that when the camera pans back to the Predator, but we see the camera in one single shot goes from Predator go underneath the log as the Predator's walking across the log. Dutch is underneath it, holding onto it because the Predator doesn't see him, and goes right back up to the Predator walking into the jungle. That is some intensified. That's some really intense shit right there, man. Oh yeah. So he grabs a spear with an explosive head on it, but he doesn't know where the Predator is. So what does he do? A rock. Mm. Throws it against a bunch of other rocks, causing it to make more sounds, which made the Predator shoot its plasma caster. But when he shot the plasma caster, Arnold's face was like, "Gotcha." And the Predator tracks it back where the rock came from, and he tries to shoot Dutch, but he misses, of course. And Dutch throws the spear right at him, and kaboom! Dutch runs up to it, but it's gone. But he sees the trail of blood. If you want to know what they use for blood, well, it's glow stick liquid. Yeah, green liquid glow stick liquid. Yeah, that's what it was. It's a cool effect too. If you want to make your own homemade Predator film, now you know what to use for Predator blood. So Arnold tracks the blood down to a little small cavern area, but the blood's all over the place. He doesn't realize what's going on until he hears the blood dripping right behind him. He's like, "Oh shit!" The Predator trapped him. However, he had a hand grenade around his neck, so he just activates. So he arms it and throws it right by the Predator and blows up. He runs out of the cave, starts to swing onto a tree branch, while the Predator shoots the tree branch down, and he falls into the water, and he gets cleaned off the mud. The Predator catches up to him by grabbing his throat and throwing him against the rock face. And we get that iconic sequence of the Predator just looking at him. And the damn thing is 7'2", and Arnold is 6'2". It's like a clear height difference between the two of them. Holy shit! This got intense. So the Predator just lets him go, decides to fight him hand to hand. You know, like an honorable hunter. Yeah, you are now worthy prey. I'm gonna fucking kick your ass, you Arnold Schwarzenegger. So yeah, he just he dismounts his shoulder plasma caster, tosses it in the river, he takes his mask off, and reveals his crab-like face, and we get the other iconic line: "You are one ugly motherfucker." Oh, bit of a fun fact too. The other cast and crew members didn't know what the Predator face actually looked like until the premiere came out. So yeah, they didn't know what the other cast members did not know what the Predator actually looked like underneath the mask. So Schwarzenegger, and Winston, John McTiernan, and Peter Cullen all saw what the creature looked like, and it was a huge surprise at the premiere. Oh, yeah, so he tries to use a branch on it, doesn't work, and the Predator just hits him, and he goes flying across the pond. He gets out of the pond, and then he does a back fist to the Predator's face, right in the Predator's face. And what's the Predator do? Boom! 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 Just pushes him over. By the way, if it looked like Arnold actually got punches in the face, that's because he did. Yeah, Kevin Peter Hall could not actually see out of the contacts that he was wearing at the time because they kind of fogged up during filming at night because it was so hot down there. But here's the thing: Kevin Peter Hall was just a massive sport about the whole thing. He didn't really mind being in the costume all day or all night. He was a huge sport, and he was just a lovely person just to work with. Yeah, he did not complain once, unlike Van Damme, who complained a lot. Oh, thank God Van Damme got fired. And so the Predator beats the shit out of Schwarzenegger, which of course causes him to limp. The thing is too physically strong for him, so he goes up to the trap area where we see a line of where a line bridge he actually had made is covered in spikes that he actually made as well. Now, here's something that a lot of people tend to overlook with this sequence. The Predator does see the trap, but there's one thing that everybody overlooks: the Predator's facial reaction. Yeah, God fucking bless Stan Winston for making these effects still much more better than they are today. Compared to the Predator makeup we have today, back then, it was amazing how this worked. All right. When the Predator actually sees the trap, you can see his facial reactions like, ah. But here's the thing. Look at his mouth. Look at how his cheeks and how his eye and how his, yeah, this muscle reaction up here on his face. Look at his reaction. It's like, huh? Uh, what the? During the iconic, I'm right here. Kill me. I'm here. Kill me. Come on. Kill me now. Do it. Starting to lose my voice a little bit here. You know, you just can't beat water half the time. No, you can't. Anyway, after seeing the trap, the Predator is a little annoyed, so he actually goes right around the trap, right where Arnold is, and he's about to roar. But here's the thing: the trap actually had a mechanism which is being held by a by a giant tree log, which is right over the Predator's head. So Arnold just activates the trap, and the log just lands right on the Predator's head. He goes, "Huh? Ah!" Boom! Right on the fucking head. Oh my god, damn, that has gotta hurt. But the Predator starts moving around a bit more. Arnold grabs a rock about to smash the fucker's face in until he sees the Predator's all fucked up. It's blood everywhere, and pretty sure his spinal column got crushed, and some of his vertebrae in the spinal column got crushed from that. So yeah, he's not. Even if he does try to get up, remove the log, he's not going to move his legs anytime soon. We also get this other line, what the hell are you? The Predator says the exact same thing. What the hell are you? And he activates the wrist bomb and starts laughing like a madman. Dutch doesn't even know what it is until the Predator starts laughing, and then he runs away and hides. He ducks and covers before the bomb goes off. And we hear it's nothing more but the beeping sound going off and the Predator's laughter, and then kaboom. Now the Predator is dead. And ironically, the pickup chopper was in the same area and actually caught the shockwave and sees the massive cloud of smoke. And we have two pilots. The major's on board. I mean, the general's on board along with Anna and two pilots. So we have one guy with a mustache, and we have Kevin Peter Hall making a cameo appearance. Why? John McTiernan felt really he felt really bad for Kevin Peter Hall being in that suit all day, so he gave him a cameo appearance. Thank God, too. Thank God. So they swing by the area, they see Dutch, and they pick him up, and he's being treated by medical personnel while we see the camera goes over to Anna, seeing her cry. While we see Dutch is just lying there, all beat to shit, and he's like, I fucking survived. Roll credits. Oh man, and that was Predator. Do I highly recommend this movie? You bet your ass I do. This movie is awesome. I fucking love it. It's basically a sci-fi action movie, but also secretly a slasher film when you think about it. It was such a great movie that it had several sequels, a crossover film series that was the prequel to the Alien franchise. Something else I forgot to mention during the Alien franchise was that well, the computer sequence in the movie Alien was called Mother, and ironically, the Mother is also used in Predator Concrete Jungle. Yeah, go figure, right? And yes, this is a continuation of the same storyline too. So this storyline is also canon to the franchise, ironically. Which, of course, we need another thing. This thing needs a TV adaptation or a movie adaptation. So I would like to see Scarface here. Oh wait, this is the wrong image. Here he is. I want to see Scarface here have a storyline for once because he's an awesome character. As for Arnold in the franchise, well, he hasn't returned back to the franchise in a long time. However, that is until Predator Hunting Ground. Yep, Arnold came back to reprise his role, and you get to unlock him later on in the game too. So that's another thing that's great. Oh man, that is just an hour of me talking about Predator. So, like I said, I highly recommend it. So I do also recommend watching the sequel, optional. The third film, optional, but also good. Both AVP films, and stay the fuck away from the Predator. It basically destroyed the franchise. That is until the movie Prey came out recently. Yeah, Prey rejuvenated the franchise, brought it back to basics as a horror film, and it worked. In fact, Prey 2 is supposed to be in the works right now, and we're going to get a sequel sooner or later. So yeah, Prey 2 is in the works. We're going to get another film series out of it. Awesome. And next to that, the Alien series is going to be revived from it thanks to Prey. I should also mention something else too that's really kind of a problem. This franchise, the iconic Predator War from this franchise was in obscurity all the way from Alien vs. Predator 2 and Predators and the Predator. Why? You can thank Dragon War for that one because when the good dragon transforms at the end of the movie, oh my god, the director, that asshole director, actually copyrighted the Predator roar because that's the roar they used for the good dragon. Motherfucker. However, when Disney bought the franchise out, which I still hate that, but this was also sort of a good thing because when it was aired on Hulu, guess what the Predator roar sound like? They brought it back as a giant fuck you to the director. He was going to make the Dragon Wars 2 movie, but the deadline on it already expired, so yeah. Everybody gave him the middle finger, told him to go fuck himself. They got the roar back and put it in Predator and Prey. Thank fucking God. And believe me, eventually, I'll probably get to do Prey sooner or later. But until then, what's the next film I'm going to do? Halloween. Yep, it's time to go back to Michael Myers again. Oh, God bless that horrifying son of a bitch. Wait a minute. Oh shit, I gotta do Halloween 5! Hate that film! Pray for me, folks. Pray for me. Frank, out.